So looking a bit further in more depth now about being a leader and what leadership means, can I ask you to think of someone who was in a position of leadership to you? Now, this is not necessarily somebody you worked for. And for my personal leader, the person who meant most to me as a leader would not actually be Richard Branson, it would be my uncle from when I was a little girl. And so you think of somebody who you always loved to see. It was always really stimulating and motivating and enjoyable to be with you. But you felt better about yourself when you were with them. You felt they helped you develop in some way. You felt they helped you grow as a person. Now, it could be a relative, a parent or grandparent. It could be a youth leader of some sort. It could be a school teacher that you had or someone at university. Or it could be somebody you worked for. So it's somebody who inspired you and you felt helped with your development. Now just give a thought to what specifically was it that that person did. What did they do that made them such a great leader for you personally? And this is not someone you admired from afar. This is someone you had a close one-to-one personal relationship with. And just write down, or keep in your head, just write down 3 things, 3 specific things that that person did that made it such a great experience for you. And then how did you feel when you were with that leader? Or with that person? What impact did they have on you? Just write down 3 things about how it felt to be with that person and what impact it had on you. Who'd like to share one of the things on their list about what the leader did? I don't think we need microphones, I'll just repeat everything. Who'd like to share something that they're specific that their leader did that made them such a great person for developing you?
I'm happy to share one. Yes. She was present.
She was present. Would you like to say a little bit more about that?
Well, I always felt that she's listening to me.
So she listened to you. Who else had that, listen to you, being present? Yes, yes. Who would like to share something? Who else would like to share something? Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
Believe and encourage.
So your leader believed in you and encouraged you. Who else had something similar to that? The leader believed in them, yes, and encouraged them. Somebody like to add something else?
She challenged me.
She challenged you.
Maybe sometimes it wasn't very, feeling very good about it. But she did it in a very nice way, kind manner.
So she challenged you to the point where it was a genuine challenge because you felt quite uncomfortable and scared about it, but she did it in a nice way, maybe she created a safe space to do that. Yes, so these great people who make us feel great, it's not just a soft, woolly, oh, they're nice to you all the time, is it? They're people who really believe in you so they can challenge you. Who else had that about being challenged by their person in a safe environment? And what about how you felt when you were with the person? Motivated? Sorry, who said valuable? Yes, so motivated and valuable. Anybody else have those things, motivated and valuable? Yes? And inspired, so they were inspiring. Here's my summing up of my leader, what my uncle did. I must be psychic. I've done this exercise all over the world. I've done it in Kuala Lumpur. I've done it in the Middle East, where I was the only woman in the room not wearing a veil. I've done it in Middle America, in Ohio. I've done it in Eastern Europe and Western Europe. People always say the same things. I mean, virtually to the words on the slide. And when you think in abstract terms about a great leader, if you say to people what makes a great leader, they start saying, oh, it's someone who's got a huge charisma, a great speaker, someone who can be strong and lead people. And yet when you ask people, well, what was your great leader like? They never mention any of those things. Not about they knew a lot or they were great role. Sometimes they say they're a good role model, but it's normally things like this. They listened, believed in me, challenged me. And I felt confident with them. They made me feel good about myself and so on, all the things that you said. Now, who can do these things? Who can do these things? Anyone can. So who can be a great leader? Anyone can. It's very simple, isn't it? All you have to do is to mean it. And all of those things are really fundamentally what we're talking about when we talk about coaching. I think there's a misconception that coaching is about learning a set of skills, asking open questions, learning how to listen and so on. For me, coaching is much more all-encompassing and fundamental than that. It's about treating people with respect, using your emotional intelligence, building people's confidence, caring about their development, getting a sense of joy when you see that you've helped somebody to develop. And I expect your leaders, you probably, looking back, you probably saw that in your leaders, the sense of joy they had about this belief they were giving you and the way you were developing. And I think if you have the things on the red side, if your intentions are to respect people and develop them, you will be doing a lot of the stuff on the blue side. But if you go on a course and just learn the stuff on the blue side, and your intention is not to respect people and build their confidence, then you might end up being a manager who says, I'm asking my staff open questions and they still hate me. So I think that's fundamentally what coaching is about. Would you agree with me? Great. Uses for coaching. There's the obvious one that if managers use coaching skills with their reports, if they coach their reports and use a coaching approach with their reports, it's motivating. It raises the energy. People work better. Obviously, using it with customers, with peers, with colleagues, coaching improves communication skills, so it eases all of those situations and improves them as well. But there's also coaching up. And people are often saying, people who go on the courses to me are often say to me, well, my boss hasn't been on the course. And so I can see now that he or she is doing all the wrong things. They're not managing me very well. And I say, well, imagine that person was one of your team members and coach them. Coach them about their management skills. It's all asking questions. You know, you're not imposing anything. They won't even know you're doing it.